This is lesson 11, distance on a coordinate plane, day 2. We are going to find the distance between some points on the coordinate plane. If you remember our distance formula from yesterday, here it is, just so that we have it right here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to plot some points on the coordinate plane, find the distance between the two. So the first one we have, t is 5, 2. So 5 and 2 is right here. Here is t. And then 4 and 1 is right here. And this is r. So when I draw a line between the two, we want the distance between these two right here. So to find that distance, we need our formula. So we are going to use our distance formula, so d equals the square root of, and we're going to find it to the nearest tenth. So notice this says x2, y2, and x1, y1. So we are going to go from r to t. So we are going to say x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Replacing, I have 4 minus 5 squared plus 1 minus 2 squared. That's going to equal negative 1 squared plus negative 1 squared. Therefore, I have 1 plus 1. So the square root of 2. That is approximately 1.414213.562. And rounding it to the 10th spot is approximately 1.4. Our next one is going to be from negative 3, 5, negative 3, 5, or negative 3, negative 5, excuse me. So negative 3, negative 5, which is right here, to negative 4, 6, which is right here. And you'll have to excuse me, I don't have a straight edge for this program, so I will try and draw it as straight as I can. Sorry, guys. Okay. So we are going to go from P to Q. That's a P, guys, sorry. All right, so now, I'm going to leave just that same color, what the heck. So now we've got D. So the square root of x2 minus x1 squared. Oh, let me fix that, though. That wasn't right. Has to be a little x1 down there squared. Plus y2 minus y1 squared. And that's going to be, we're going from P to Q. So P we have negative 3 minus negative 4. I hate when it does that. Let me redo that. So we have the square root of negative 3 minus negative 4 squared plus negative 5 minus 6 squared. So there we have the square root of. This is leave, change, change. So here we have 1 squared plus, here we have negative 5 minus 6 is negative 11 squared. Here it doesn't say that we should round it, but I am going to round this to the nearest tenth. So here we have the square root of 1 plus 121, which is the square root of 122. And the square root of 122 is 11.04536.102, and I'm actually going to round this to the nearest hundredth. So that would actually be 11.05. So the next thing that we're going to do here is it says let A, B, and C be 3 points on a plane. So A, we're going to sketch the triangle on the coordinate plane. So let's sketch this. So we have 4, 3. So we have 4, 3. Here's A. B is 1, 4. So 1, 4. And then C is -2, -5. So connecting these, okay, it says sketch the triangle and find the length of each side of the triangle. Well, in order to find the length of each of these sides, we have to do the Pythagorean theorem. In order to do that, here's what we're going to need to do. We have to find each of the triangle sides. So we have to find this triangle here. So that's 1. So that's 1. Then we have to find this one here. That side, and that's 2. And then we have to find the third side. Which is this side here. So now what we need to do here is we are going to need to, oh, sorry about that, guys. So let's find the first one. So we have a 1 by 3. So we're going to find this side right here. So to find that, we have 1 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. So we have 1 plus 9 equals c squared. So we have 10 equals c squared. So we have the square root of 10 equals c. So the first side here is the square root of 10. So I'm going to erase c here. And I'm going to put, oh, let me put that back here. So that is going to be the square root of 10 right here. Let's find 2 now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 here. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So we have 6 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. So we have 36 plus 64 equals c squared. So we have 100 equals c squared. So square root of 100. So c equals 10. And our last one, we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3. So this right here is 10. And then we have by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. By 9. So we have 3 squared plus 9 squared equals c squared. So we have, oops, sorry guys. So we have 9 plus 81 equals c squared. So here we have 90 equals c squared. Take the square root of both sides. So we have c equals the square root of 90. So this is the square root of 90. So now it says, is the triangle a right triangle? Well, I know we did one similar to this in class. So if we do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and we do the square root of 10 squared plus the square root of 90 squared equals 10 squared. And then we square that, it's 10 plus 90. And does that equal 100? Oops, sorry. Not 9, 90. So 100 equals, oh, I can't write today. La 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 la. All right, 100 equals 100. So the answer is yes. It is a right triangle. Okay. So our next problem, it says example 4. It says find the distance between the movie theater and the golf club. So here's the movie theater. Here's the movie theater, here's the golf club. So we're finding the distance right here. Okay. So when we do that, the movie theater is -3 and 3. The golf club is 0, 4. So to find that distance, we have using our formula and replacing, I have -3 minus 0 squared plus 3 minus 4 squared. So then I have -3 minus 0 is -3 squared plus -1 squared. So now I have (9) plus 1, which is the square root of 10. Now here it doesn't say anything about rounding, so I am going to simply leave it at the square root of 10. Next it says find the distance between the aquarium and the restaurant. So let's find that. So here the aquarium and the restaurant, the aquarium and the restaurant right here. Now those points are 1, 7 and 4, 4. So to find that distance, we have, and again, going from bottom to top. Well, actually, you're going from the between. Oh, it's just saying between. It's not saying from one to the other. So we're going to go from 4 to 1. So here, I'm going to say from 4 minus 1 squared plus from 4 minus 7 squared. And that's going to equal 3 squared plus -3 squared which is going to equal 9 plus 9, which is going to equal the square root of 18. But here I can simplify this, and the reason that I can is because I have 9 times 2. So here, because I have 9 times 2, I can simplify this to 3 square root of 2. And remember, how I did that is I have 18, square root of 18 can be rewritten as 9 times 2, or square root of 9 times the square root of 2, which equals 3 square root of 2. Okay? And that ends my lesson.